right, welcome back to the Meta Report. Today we are going to talk about Shazam. Today I have with me Kage, Loot, and DP. All right, guys, so
Hey guys.
now that we've gone on the high of Black Adam, let's talk about one of the characters that has been people have been less excited for, but even though I still think he's one of the better characters, and his rework wasn't a huge rework, but I still feel like it was a good rework, and he's a really good character. Start with Kage this time. What do you think about the Shazam rework and your overall thoughts of him as a character?
I think it just kind of moved him just a needle. He's one of those reworks that really didn't need it, but it helped him. The turning the crit downs into strength downs, and I'm really not sure what else changed about him. His overheal, I guess.
Well, he got that. He got to apply 5 strength downs if a teammate's
Oh
hit
yeah,
below
the new passive
30%.
is kind of cool. I think it works kind of well with Giganta or Black Lightning. But other than that, I'd rather use Donna Troy personally.
It's funny because when I've started using him, in Siege, there's been a couple matches now where I took Donna Troy in instead of him, and I regretted it because I lost a character where I'd fight the same exact team. Actually, one time I had 2 boards back to back with the exact same team. The first time I fought it was with Donna Troy. Lost a character or 2. It was a bad match. And then the next match I used Shazam, and I was able to muscle through it because he can survive against physical characters better than Donna Troy in my mind. You can keep him alive a little easier because he gets that
Yeah,
melee immunity. He gets so much life, so much heal.
Oh yeah, he's got
Mhm.
better sustain than her, definitely.
No, his
But
damage sucks, but so
yeah,
DP, have you played with him at all?
Yeah, I have him gear 11 for the. I took him to gear 11 for the siege. I fully upgraded his abilities and everything. I wasn't impressed with him in the beginning. I basically only use him in siege when I'm facing a lower powered team, so that I can have all full 20 points, right? But I do most of the time start off with him taunting, and I like the synergies off of his abilities when he's taunting. But the problem is, it really depends on the composition you're going up against. Because he's a mixed tank, he doesn't do really well against physical strikers, and that's why he has his new passive, right? So, which makes sense. The only thing I wish is that his fifth passive wasn't so gated. I get why it's there. It makes thematic sense, but they should have made it like a different gate or a different type of gate, because I feel like it's too hard to achieve sometimes, because he might just go down really quick.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? He's tanky, but he needs to be tankier somehow. Like, his base HP needs to be higher, or I don't know. I mean, he needs like crit immunity or something like that, because he still feels too squishy for a tank, which is weird, right? It's weird to say that. So
Yeah, I don't think
I don't
it can
know.
be that squishy. I mean, I've taken a full shot to have from high ground headshot to the face with a
Oh,
well,
crit
yeah?
and
that's when he
survived.
was taunting though. Without the taunt, he just
Right.
died.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Because
okay.
he's slower than most of those physical characters, right? So if a player is playing against your Shazam, which is controlled by AI, they'll go before you, and Shazam just dies. All right.
Well, I did have a
So
match where I had Black Adam, not Black Lightning, Black Adam in Starfire versus just Shazam, and I couldn't kill him. He ended up
oh
killing
yeah,
both my team off. I just couldn't take him down. Even with the purge from Black Adam, he just
yeah.
whittled me down.
He is the counter to Black Adam, though, right? I mean, rightfully
Yeah,
so. So it makes a lot of
yeah, it
sense.
makes sense. How about you, Luke? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Extremely underwhelmed, to
Yeah,
be honest. I'm not a fan. I just don't get it. If you're going to rework a character, you got to do something different. I think WB really needs to reassess most of the rework, minus Black Adam, most of the reworks it's so minimal that why do it at all?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Black Adam is the exception to the rule. They did a fantastic job. The guy's a monster. But Shazam,
well,
I don't know.
think you
Like, the
need
movie
everything to
comes
be a
out,
monster.
right? And it's Shazam month. Make Shazam awesome. Make people
Right.
love him. And the other thing that kills me is if you look at his moves, they need to think about what they're naming these things. The first one's called Strength of Hercules. Okay? So that to me is like, wow, he should really hit like a truck. Yeah, he punches people and it's like, really? Did he even touch them?
Yeah.
And I totally agree with Kage. For a tank, maybe it was TP that said it, or Kage.
Yeah.
But for a tank, he's not tanky enough. And he needs crit immunity. Or Stardom, I know a lot of people said this, and a lot of people wanted this, and it didn't happen. Turn 0 taunt with the 10 stamina. Start him off as a tanky tank. And then the other thing that kills me is the overheal. So if you look at, that's called Fortitude of Atlas. The overheal is so tiny. And most of the skill ups are plus 10%, plus 10%. Every time it's plus 10%. So I don't get it. Like, it's, how much is his overheal if it's plus 10, and it only gives me this teeny weeny tick?
Well, the problem is
What's
that the
the point?
overheal happens before the stamina ups. That's why it's so small. We reported that.
Oh, is that how
okay.
it works?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
reported that,
That makes sense.
and they said
It
it
is
was working as intended. So that's
Yeah, it's just worded really poorly.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, basically the way stamina ups and HP ups work is that your it's like your HP bar is getting longer, but since it's graphically not getting longer, it's harder to represent, right? Think about it that way. And
Is that why they do
because-
those lines? They just
Right,
add more
exactly.
lines.
They don't actually even add more lines during the battle, right? It's set at the beginning of the battle, right? So during, like, it's the same thing if you go with Mr. Freeze, his taunt is the same thing, right? His bar is technically getting longer, but you can't see it getting longer. You don't see actually more ticks being added on, right? That's the only thing. Like, I wish they could graphically represent that dynamically,
just
but
make the bar longer.
they don't. I think that would require network access because the way the battles work right now, you can actually technically play offline during the battle, and before the battle ends, just connect back onto the internet so that it inputs the data. That's how it currently works, I believe.
which is why
Right.
hacking issues are prevalent.
Right.
You know what, though?
Oh,
I find that if I have an internet connectivity issue, I'll get an out of sync during the match.
it depends on when it happens, too. But yeah, that is a thing. But anyways, we're getting really off topic with that. But I mean,
Sorry.
in terms of his health bar, I'm with you there. Now, I have a question for you, Lute. Would you prefer, for example, if Shazam were reworked in a different way, let's say super strong, like let's say a special striker, instead of a mixed tank or a mixed striker, a complete special, for example. Let's say he's like Black Adam, right? Give him Black Adam's special striker kit, or would you give him Mary's special tank kit, like the chemo kit?
No, not Mary. And we could get into her in another video. I'd rather it be like Black Adam.
Okay, so you'd rather he be like another glass cannon?
Yeah, if we were making him like Mary, yeah.
See, I like him
Okay.
as a tank. My biggest problem with him is that you have Donna Troy who can stun like a maniac, and he can stun. He's got a 60% chance, but you have to be overhealed, and that 60% is like 12%. I don't care what they say. They say it's working as intended. It's fine, but it does not feel like 60% when he's overhealed.
No, not at all. It doesn't
That's the
feel very
lowest
good.
60% ever.
Yeah.
I don't mind him being a tank. That's totally fine, but give him the opportunity to be like a true tank. And he's got to be able to take hits from reds.
See,
I think
can,
he
though.
should have
I mean,
had crit immunity.
I actually, he's my go-to tank when I'm playing Siege and there's a heavy red team, when I still want the bonus points, because I can keep him alive usually.
Like, I mean, he's the mystic version of Superman, right? He should be comparative to Superman in terms of tankiness, but he isn't at all. So,
Yeah, I disagree. I feel like he is tanky. I can
You think
usually-
so?
I rarely...
I mean, I don't know.
Like, I bring him over I even bring him over Vixen whenever
Right.
I want
I mean,
to
like
keep alive.
Like in my Siege, a lot of the times I'll stick with Constantine, Black Adam, Red Robin, and Superman as my lead because I just know he does a better job protecting the other guys. So
He does. He does a very good job.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm still not sold on Shazam. I'm really like, I'm 1 foot out the door basically with him right now. But I mean, I could turn the corner on him. I don't know how to build around him the right way to make him shine. That's the problem, and because I'm only playing him in Siege right now, which is the
I
other
like
problem.
him with Brainiac because you can use the taunt usually before anybody else takes a move that you would be worried about.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So you get your taunt really early, and then if you do proc the damage immunity, you're set.
Mhm.
But then the other thing I like using him for, I like him with like if you're not facing Wonder Girl, a Clayface, or a character who taunts early, but then their taunt drops off quickly, that you usually, so then you can kind of cycle the taunts.
That's the thing. Freaking his taunt draws that whip attention, right?
Yeah, that's the other
And
problem.
it's only 50% to get the damage immunity. So even if you get the damage immunity and you protect him, the whole team dies.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's talk legendary order. My legendary order for him, I'm pretty settled on. I like his 2 first because even though it's 50% chance, getting that damage immunity is just too important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go 3 because the 50% turn meter down is his next best ability, and having this 9 strength, you're going to cast that usually right after you cast the taunt. So you're going to you're going to want the turn meter down. And then I go 1, even though it's 60% chance, it's probably the next best one to be able to stun. And then I take his 5 so that once you have the stun, that's the only time you do see it frequently is if he's overhealed and your team's getting hit and he's counterattacking. It's only 25% chance to have a 60% chance to stun, but still I'll take it. And then the last one is his 4, which reduces the cooldown of his 3. Anybody disagree or think something different?
Nope.
No,
Seems fine to
it
me.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Or you can be like Loot and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, if you're on
And you
legendary,
know
it doesn't
what?
matter.
That's exactly what I did do.
Yeah, the thing with Shazam is that he's a lot of what-if situations, like a lot of like if clauses, a lot of 50-50s. I feel it's weird.
Yeah,
So that's why I can't.
I don't like
I can't settle.
He's
Yeah.
not dependable.
Unless
Yeah.
it's Two-Face, then I like his 50-50s. But all right, so we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for Global.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of WROL Broadcasts, a subsidiary of the Oddsman and We Are Legends. To view additional content and support the show, please go to patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts.